Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of GenTech, the show that focuses on using technology to help you research, collaborate, and share your family history research in new, innovative ways. Let's get started. For this episode, we're talking about WordPress, a platform that allows you to create blogs and websites easily. So over the course of this presentation, I'll get into the whys, the hows, and the whats about blogging about your family history. So I'll talk about why it's a good idea to share your family history, how to share that family history, what blogging is. I'll show a couple of blog examples from others who are also blogging about their family history. I'll talk about WordPress's features and show you how it can help you create a blog. And then I'll go through a demo where you can see me create a blog from scratch. So sharing your family history allows you to start putting your family's story together. You can also connect with others because you're posting your research online in a public forum, essentially. So other people will be able to read your blog post. They'll be able to comment. They may offer you suggestions as far as breaking through brick walls. They may also point out gaps in your research. So it becomes a very collaborative experience when you make your research public. From a personal perspective, it also allows you to access your research all in one location. So you're converting your documents, your files, everything that you've been researching, and you're putting them all in one location on your blog. Another positive benefit is that sharing your family history also allows family members to stop bugging you all the time about any facts regarding your history. So there are a couple of questions that you want to keep in mind before you even start thinking about how you're going to share your family history. You want to think about what you're trying to accomplish. Why do you want to share your family history? Is it for some of the reasons I just mentioned? Maybe you're trying to break through a brick wall, trying to connect with some other people, trying to find long-lost cousins, or are you just trying to commit yourself to writing on a consistent basis? Who do you want to share your family history with too? Is it just going to be family members? Is it going to be everyone in the world, just family historians, genealogists? You want to consider who your audience is. This drives what the best way to share your family history will be. So, for example, if your audience consists mostly of elderly people, maybe creating a blog or website is not the best way to communicate that information to them. Maybe something such as doing an in-person presentation might be a better medium in which to share that information. You can also share your family history through writing a book, shooting a family documentary. Creating a website or a blog is just one way that you can share that history. You also want to consider if the option that you've chosen will allow you to share all the things that you want to share. Granted, of course, when you write a book, you're confined to just one item that allows you to write about a topic. With a blog, you could go on and on and on and on. Same thing with a documentary. You don't want to have like a super long family documentary that goes into every single aspect of your family history. You want to make sure to chunk down or make your information in bite-sized pieces so that it's easier for people to understand. When you consider what you want to share, this concept applies as well, because you want to make sure to break down your family history into some manageable pieces. You don't want to share everything all at once and overwhelm whoever your audience is. So a couple of recommendations I have is focus on the line with the most information. That'll give you a great start as far as making sure that you have enough content to just get started. As I said before, I suggest breaking down your family history into manageable pieces. Maybe you just want to focus on one particular family line, or one particular family, or one household, or just one person. And that's fine. It gives you a starting point and it allows you to keep focus on your actual topic. You also want to talk about photos that you found. Media is a great way to engage people, particularly online as well, because it's a visual medium and they don't have to read too much content. So when you focus on photos, you might want to consider who's in the photo and what's the story behind the photo. Speaking of stories, you also want to focus on the stories involved that you found throughout your research. Telling those stories will engage people and make them want to ask more questions about that information. A very important concept when you're sharing your family history is to make sure that you respect the privacy of those who you may be talking about or whose relatives you may be talking about. Always, always, always make sure to ask permission from your relatives if there are sensitive topics in particular that they may not want you to talk about. I also suggest, if you're unsure, definitely don't talk about those topics, especially in an online medium. For additional tips as far as blogging and sharing about your family history, don't try to share everything at once. You can add information at your own pace, and what you share will continue to evolve over time. Another topic you may want to talk about is your research journey. There are plenty of people who are getting on the train of researching their family history, and not everyone is an expert in the field. So you want to make sure to explain how you find the things that you found and talk about some of the pitfalls that you've run into as well. So what is blogging? Blogging is writing about topics or events or experiences on the internet, usually in an ordered format. And what I mean by ordered format is that it's in a reverse chronological order. So the most recent pieces that you're writing are always at the top, and the oldest are always at the bottom. Whenever you write about a specific topic, like the story of how your great-grandparents met, you're creating a blog post. And a blog is the type of website that has these posts. Blogs are a really great way to share your family history. You can share photos, stories, documents, and your own experiences during your research journey. Blogging also allows you to write naturally. You can use your own unique voice to tell your stories, as well as the stories of your ancestors. Some additional benefits of blogging, besides just being able to share the information, is you can make very quick posts. So if you want to write, but you don't want to write a lot, this is a really great medium for you. The posts, as I said, don't have to be super formal because you can use your own unique voice to get your stories across. You can write however much you want whenever you want to. With something like a book that's kind of set and defined, you pretty much only have those pages to write that story. But with a blog, you have unlimited pages to write the stories that you want to talk about. And since it's online, your youngest relatives will easily be able to access this information should they be interested. So as a reminder, when you are blogging or thinking about blogging, be sure to tell the stories behind your photos. Write about the events, the people, and the places. These are the things that are going to get people engaged in what you're actually writing about. Also, write about your research journey and reflect on what you've learned. Talk about discoveries that you've made, what you've proved, and what the significance of these discoveries are. I have 3 examples of 3 genealogy blogs that you can check out. I think they do a really good job of incorporating a whole bunch of different elements in their writing. So some of them focus on their experiences as genealogists or family historians. Some focus on their ancestor profiles and research, and others focus on the towns that their ancestors lived in. So as you can see, they all kind of focus on specific areas as they blog about their family history. How does WordPress fit into all of this? WordPress is a powerful, easy-to-use tool for creating a website or a blog. If you've used a tool like Microsoft Word, then you can definitely use WordPress. Now, there is some discussion about WordPress.com versus WordPress.org. The difference between these two tools is that WordPress.com allows you to create a website or a blog and have it hosted for free on WordPress.com. WordPress.org is a tool. It still allows you to create a website or a blog, but you have to host it with a website hosting provider, so it is not free. WordPress.org also allows you to have more freedom in terms of how you design your blog, access to the code behind the blog, and all of that, versus WordPress.com gives you a very limited set of features. So just keep that in mind. As we go on forward and as I get into the demo, I will go into WordPress.com's functions and features. WordPress is also flexible. It allows you to change the style of your blog to fit your needs. It's interactive. People who view your posts can make comments, make suggestions, ask questions, and you can control the privacy of your content. So you can choose whether or not you want your posts to be only available to certain people or to be public. So a couple of questions that you may have about WordPress. Do you need to know how to code? Nope, you don't. WordPress.com and WordPress in general is very beginner friendly. Now, if you do want more of the complex features involved in creating a website or a blog through WordPress, either you will need to know how to code or you will need to hire a web developer to code the website for you. Does WordPress cost money? Nope. So a basic WordPress.com blog or website is free. But if you do want more of those features and more of the control over your blog's design, then you will have to pay money for those features. And those features come from WordPress.org. So these are the steps involved in creating a blog with WordPress.com. Step 1, you create a WordPress.com account. Step 2, you add a new site. Step 3, you choose the style or the theme that you want. 4, you create your first post, then you publish it, and then finally you launch your free blog. So we'll go ahead and jump into the demo. For these next few screens, I'm just going to show you how you create an account with WordPress.com. And then afterwards, I'll go ahead and jump into the features and the functionality of creating your blog. So to create an account on WordPress.com, you want to go ahead and click on that Get Started button at the top right corner here. Once you click on that, you'll get a screen that asks you for your email address, for a username, and for a password. And once you've entered that in, you'll be able to create your account. From here, you can choose whatever kind of site you're building, but for our purposes, we're going to say we're creating a blog. What is your blog about? I would highly suggest just enter in family history. Honestly, I don't think it really matters, but put in family history and then click continue. Once you've done that, WordPress will show you a preview of what your website is going to look like. And then you'll need to enter in a name for your website. In my instance, I've entered in the Lawrences of Walhalla. The Lawrences are one of my families, and Walhalla is one of the towns that they lived in and worked in. So click continue. From here, they're going to use the keywords that you've used to create your blog to help you find a domain name. Now, a domain name is something like www.google.com or www.facebook.com. So it's the computer-friendly URL of your blog. Once you've done that, it's going to bring you to an area where you can choose the domain name for your website. Now, notice here that they do have a suggestion available for lawrencesofwalhalla.com. But as you'll notice at the bottom, it does say that it's going to renew at $18 per year. So this is not exactly free as they're saying here. What you want to do is go down under that initial option and look for options that they provide that have free directly to the right of that domain name. So I would choose this one and click select. Now, WordPress.com is going to try to get you to pay for a bunch of other features, which you don't have to have. So just ignore the stuff at the bottom here and just click Start with a free site. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and go to WordPress.com and log in and show you how you would stylize your blog and how you create your first blog post. So you'll want to go to WordPress.com. Over here at the top right, if you click Get Started, this is where you would create your account. I'm going to go ahead and click Login since I already have an account. And I'll enter in my username as well as my password. Now when I log in, it's going to give me this reader dashboard. This is just a dashboard for if I'm following any other WordPress blogs or websites. So I'm not following any, so there's nothing here. For our purposes, we're going to want to go to My Site. And so you'll see my blog name as well as its domain name or URL here. If I want to view my site, I can click View Site. And there's nothing here because I don't have any blog posts. If I go back, it'll bring me right back to the dashboard. As you can see, it says the plan is free and the domain is free. If at any point I wanted to upgrade, I could click that upgrade button, which would provide me with more features, more functionality, but I would have to pay money for that. So first things first, let's go ahead and click on design so we can choose a theme for our blog. Now currently I'm using this 2020 theme. I don't necessarily have to use that though. There are a few other options that are available. So you could choose whichever one you think has a good basic design for what you inevitably want your blog to look like. I'm going to just choose this hover theme. So to choose it, first I can preview it actually if I click Live Demo. And it'll show me what it would look like on my own site. And if I like it, I can go ahead and click Activate. And it's going to give me a message just letting me know, hey, if you change the theme from 2020 to hover, it's going to automatically change your homepage layout. And so I don't mind, I don't really care, so I'll just do yes, go ahead and activate it. And I get a confirmation message. If I click Customize Site, I can further customize the way that the website looks based off of this theme. So this is the preview over here on the right of what the site will look like. They automatically include some images and some content, so this isn't going to be any content that I've created, but it's from the theme itself. If I go to Site Identity, this is where I could change the site title if I wanted, add a logo, add a tagline, which is basically just a subtitle here. So if I said, My Family History Blog, it shows up under the site title right there. I can also choose the site icon, which would be the icon that would replace this little WordPress icon here in my tab. To go into the next sections, I can click on menus if I want to create a menu for my website. So to do that, I would click Create New Menu, add a name for it. I'll just call it Blog Menu. And then you can choose where you want it to appear. Do you want it to appear at the top, which is called Primary, at the bottom, which is called the footer, or in the Social Links menu? I'm going to click Primary and click Next. And then I need to add some links. So to do that, I would click Add Items. And then I can create new pages from here. So if I wanted an About page, I'd type About and click Add. If I wanted a contact page, I would do the same thing. And then you also want to make sure that your home link is also included in your menu. So click Home. And if I hover over these options for the menu, I get this little 4-pronged arrow cursor. So what this means is I can click and drag these items to rearrange them. And so now you can see my menu shows up over here on the top right. Now when I click on these links, it'll bring me to the About page and the Contact page and the Home page, respectively. So if I'm satisfied with that, I can click Save Changes. And it keeps those changes saved. Now, if I go back a couple of steps, it'll bring me to additional areas where I can customize the look and feel of my blog. For now, I'm just going to leave everything the way it is and go back by clicking on this X icon. So this will bring me back to the dashboard. And here, I'll go ahead and be able to create my blog post. So to create a blog post, you want to go to Site and click on Post. And of course, I don't have any blog posts written, so there's no post found. You'll want to go ahead and click on Add New Post. And you get this screen where you can write your content, as well as change some settings if you need to. So here you would add your blog post title. Here you would start writing your content. And then over here on the right, you'll see settings will change based on what kind of content you're putting into your post. Whether it's a paragraph, a header, a photo, a video, any one of those types of content. So for my title, I'm just going to name it after my great-great-grandfather. And for the content, I've already got some stuff copied, so I'm just going to paste that text in here. So it just gives some very basic information about him, where he was born, who his parents were, etc. If I want to add in a photo, I can do that pretty easily. You can press the Enter key on the keyboard to go down to the next line. Then click on this plus icon to add a block. Now, a block is a type of content. So if I click on Add a Block, it shows me I can add a paragraph, hours, a contact form, various other forms, images, headers, quotes, a photo gallery, audio, video, etc. Here, I just want to use an image, so I'll click Image. And I can either upload an image from my computer, choose an item from the media library, or insert an image from a URL that you found online. So I already have a few images uploaded to my media library already, so I'm going to click Media Library. These images go into your media library once you upload them to WordPress. So here I've got his death certificate as well as a snippet from the 1900 census. I'm going to click on the census and then click Insert. And it puts it into my blog post for me. So once that's done, my cursor at the bottom here automatically goes under the image, and this allows me to create a caption for the image. So I would say, snippet of 1900 South Carolina census. And then if I wanted it to be in bold or something like that, I could do that if I wanted. Now, I don't have to just add images. I can also add in headers. So if I wanted to add another section, I could click on that plus again. And instead of scrolling down, I could search for heading. And I could go ahead and type the header. So if I wanted to say last year's in Walhalla, maybe I had some content here talking about the latter part of his life in Walhalla, South Carolina. Now, once I'm satisfied with my post, of course, in real life, you would want to make sure to have a little bit of a longer post. Generally, blog posts should be probably about 400 to 500 words long, just because you don't want them to be too long that people lose interest, but you also don't want them to be so super short that you're really not conveying that much information. So if this was a post that I wanted to save for later and add to later, I could always save it as a draft and then access it whenever I wanted to. So let's say I've saved it and maybe I want to go back to it. Maybe I changed my mind and I wanted to publish it. Now that I'm on my WordPress dashboard, I see Publish Post of which I have 0, and draft post, of which I have 1. So if I click on drafts, I'll see the one that I just created. If I click on it, I can go back to the post and make any edits if I want to. So if I added additional content, I could do that. And then from there I could save it or publish it. Now before you publish your blog post, I highly recommend that you click preview just so you can see what it's going to look like on your blog. So when I click preview, it shows this pop-up window here. So on my blog, I have my blog title, as well as the tagline, the menu for links to different pages, and the blog post, complete with the image and the heading I created. I can also view this on different devices. So if I wanted to see what it would look like on tablet or on phone, I could do that as well. From here, I'm going to click close, and I'll just say I'm satisfied with this. This looks good to me. So I'll go ahead and click publish. Now WordPress is going to double check with you just to make sure that you are indeed ready to publish your post. You can choose whether you want it to be a private post, so only available to other people who are editors on your blog, whether it's password protected. Maybe you have some private or sensitive information on this post, and so you only want people who have a password to be able to access this post. You could choose that option as well. Public, of course, is visible to everyone and their mom on the internet. For publishing, you can choose to publish it immediately, or you can choose to pick a specific date and time in which it becomes live and available for people to view. So if I wanted to publish it, let's say on Thursday, I could do that, and I can choose the specific time I want it to publish. I'm going to go ahead and choose today because I do want it to publish immediately. So I'll go down to reset, and it goes back to publish immediately. WordPress will also make suggestions. So here it's suggesting that you add some tags. Tags allow you to further describe your content and add a few keywords. So for this post, it's about my great-great-grandfather, about the 19th century, about South Carolina, a town called Wagner, a town called Walhalla, and his wife. These are all keywords that I could use to describe my post with more specificity. So to create a new tag, I would just type one of those keywords. So let's say Walhalla. When I'm done creating the tag, I would press the Enter key. I'll say South Carolina, press the Enter key. And so this allows people who are visiting your blog to search for posts that may relate to one of these tags. So if they only want to post relating to Walhalla, they could search Walhalla and they would automatically get all of those posts because you're a great blog poster and you've tagged all of your posts related to Walhalla with the tag Walhalla. This also helps search engines figure out what your content means. So in terms of ranking on Google, Google has a better understanding of what your posts are about because you've set these tags. You can also set a featured image for your post. And so this might be maybe a picture of my great-great-grandfather or a map of the town that he was from. Now I'm going to go ahead and publish my post. I think everything looks pretty good. So from here, I'll click publish. And once it's successful, it'll say the name of the post and that it's live. And you can view the post or you can copy the link if you want to send it to other people. When I click view post, it shows me pretty much what I saw in the preview. So I get the title, tagline, the blog post title, and the content here. And then at the bottom, you'll notice my tags are in place. And there's a spot for people to leave comments on this particular post. So if someone left a comment, they would be able to post it here, and you would get notified that someone's left that comment for you on this post. Now, if I wanted to make some more changes to my blog post, I could do that even though it's been published. So I'm going to navigate back. So I'm back at the screen that I had before where I can edit my blog post. So let's say I want to highlight some dates. Maybe use like a bold font. I can also make other formatting choices, such as italicizing things. If I click on this down arrow, I can find even more options, such as underline or text color. So maybe I want this to be in blue. I could do that. This icon here allows you to create links. So if I wanted to link directly to the document that, say I found this on Family Search, which I probably did, I could link directly to that document. So to do that, I would just highlight the text that I want to set the link up for and click on this link icon and then paste the URL here. If I click on this little switch, what this means is that whenever someone reads your blog post and clicks on this link, it will pop up a new tab in their browser window, so it doesn't leave your blog site. You can also align your text. So right now mine is left aligned, but I can center it or right align it as well. And so when I make those changes, they're not going to be automatically on my blog until I click update. If I do update, it tells me at the bottom here that my post has been updated, and it has a link where I can go see it. And so when I go to the actual blog post, you'll see that my text is right aligned. I have this text in bold, and this text is italicized and in blue. I would highly recommend that before you publish your post, though, definitely make sure that you get all of your edits out at that point and try not to make too many changes to your post once they've been made live. There are a couple other things that I want to show you guys. So let me go back to the edit view. And then you can always click on this W to view other posts that you have. So it brings me back to my WordPress dashboard. If I wanted to create another post, I could simply just go to Site, Post, and then as you can see, this now says Published is 1. And all I would need to do is click Add New Post to create another post on my website. You can also create pages. We already created a couple of pages previously where we added About and Contact to our menu on our blog. To make changes to those specific pages, you want to go to Site and then Pages, and then click on About, and then you can type whatever you want. So say this is an About page about you as a person and what your blog is about. You can put all of this content here. Now the difference between posts and pages is that pages are more static content. It's content that's really not going to change all that much. So for an About page, if you're writing a little bit of a bio about yourself, that's really not going to change too much. Versus a blog post is specifically for a blog. So it's going to be short pieces of content that appear in reverse chronological order, with the newest post being at the very top and the oldest post being at the very bottom of your blog. So for my About page, I would just write a little bit of something about myself. And then I can preview it if I want to, like we did for the blog post, or I can just go ahead and update it. Since this page is already live, I only get the update option, so I don't get that publish option anymore. Update. Now we're able to view it, so I can click View Page. And as you can see, About is highlighted because we're currently on the About page. So now, in order to view your blog post, you want to go to the home screen, and this is where your blog post will live. So if I created another post, it would appear right above this George W. Lawrence post. Because again, blog posts appear in reverse chronological order. Now, if you wanted to collaborate with other people on your blog, like say there's other family members who are also doing the same research, you can add them as authors. So to do that, let's go back to that WordPress dashboard. You can click on My Site here, and it'll do that for us. And then you'll want to go down to Manage. So when you click on Manage, you have a few options here. Click on People, and it'll show you there's only one person on your team, which is yourself. Click on Invite, and then you can type in that person's email address, choose their role. So administrator has complete power over the website. They can invite people, change site settings, add content. The editor only has access to the post and the pages and can add content on those posts and pages. And then the author can upload photos, edit posts and pages, and publish those posts and pages. A contributor can write on posts and pages and edit their own posts, but they cannot publish them. And then a follower can read and comment on your posts and pages. So if you have a family member who's not contributing, but they want to keep up with what you're doing, you may want to invite them and add them as a follower on your website. So you'd add their email address, choose their role, and then you can also provide a custom message to let them know, hey, I created a new blog, come check it out. And then when you click send invitation, it'll send them an email to invite them to create an account and to view your blog and to either contribute or follow your updates. Once you've got everything looking the way that you want for your blog, meaning your pages are written out, your blog posts are written, and of course the design looks really good, make sure to go to My Home over here on the left and click Launch Your Site, and then click the Launch Site button. My button is already grayed out, but that's because I've already launched my site. So what this means is that when you click Launch Site, your site will be public so other people can view it. If I click View Site, it'll bring me directly to my blog, and I'll have my blog website address or URL here. And I can copy it and paste it into social media or an email to share with others so that they can also view my blog. Now I've got a few more tips and tricks for you guys as you work on creating your blog. Again, you can schedule blog posts, so this makes it a little bit easier if you have times when you're able to write a lot of content and then other times when you might have writer's block. You could always write a bunch of content and just schedule out your blog posts to publish live whenever you're ready. Definitely consider collaboration. Like I said, your family members can help you make posts too. As long as you invite them and give them access, they can start creating posts. And again, WordPress pages are going to be pages that don't change very often. So my example was the About Me page where you have a biography, a short bio of yourself, and it's not going to change very much. So you can also use this for longer pages as well. And that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking out WordPress and how to use it to create a family history blog. Until next time.